The Deep South is slowly becoming one of the most moved to regions in the US. Maybe you're thinking about that right now, but what state and what city is best for you? In this series, we will help you answer that question. Now, everyone has their opinion on what the best city or state is going to be. That is why we're looking at the best cities from a statistical point of view. Not reputation, not feelings, and not local lore. This is by the numbers. So today, we're going to start off with the Palmetto State, South Carolina. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Malden, South Carolina, where small town meets slightly larger small town. You ever heard of it? Probably not. Sandwiched in the shadows of Greenville. Because, let's be real, Greenville gets all the attention. Malden is like the middle child of upstate South Carolina towns. It's there, it's trying, and it's got some decent qualities you don't have to squint too hard to see. A brief history. Malden owes its existence to the Civil War and a guy named Lieutenant Governor William Malden. Apparently, naming a town after him was the easiest way to honor him because monuments and states are so last season. Founded in 1784, Malden spent the better part of 2 centuries perfecting the art of being a place people pass through on their way to somewhere else. It officially became a town in 1969. Yes, in 1969, the same year as Woodstock. While the rest of the country was turning in, turning on, and dropping out, Malden was filling out its paperwork. Priorities, right? Life in Malden. Let's talk about what it's like to live here. Malden is quiet, not in a peaceful countryside way, but in a nothing major ever happens here way. The local government works hard to keep the streets clean, and the biggest crime you'll ever encounter is someone parking too close to the Chick-fil-A drive-up entrance. Or maybe parking in the Publix parking lot and then walking over to Chick-fil-A. Speaking of Chick-fil-A, fast food is basically Malden's culinary scene. Sure, there are some nice spots if you dig around, but if you're not craving fried chicken or burgers, you're probably driving to Greenville for sushi. I'm the type of person that stay in Malden. I hate sushi. I think Robin Williams explained it perfectly. He said someday some Japanese philosopher is going to come back to life from thousands of years ago and go, "What? They're eating the raw fish? I was telling joke." The Malden entertainment scene. Now, if you're looking for entertainment, you'll find it, well, somewhere else. Malden's idea of nightlife is gas station open past 10 o'clock. Want a mall? Sorry, try Greenville. Looking for a park? Malden's got a few, but don't expect Central Park level charm. They're perfect for walking your dog, playing frisbee, or just sitting around and contemplating if a quiet southern town is for you or not. Now, if you got kids and you're looking for an education, Malden's got pretty good scores. Their school test scores are about 43% above the national average. Their high school diploma rate is about 8% higher than the national average. So if you got kids and you want a quiet southern town, Malden is perfect. Now, here's what makes Malden so good. Location, location, location. Malden's biggest selling point is its proximity to everywhere else. It's 15 minutes from Greenville, about an hour from the mountains, and a few hours from Charleston and the beach. You have access to all those things without having to deal with the problems that come with those things. They're sort of like a person that never throws a party but attends all of them. Now, Malden is growing. In recent years, Malden has started to shake things up. They built a shiny new cultural center, hosted a few events, and started whispering about a downtown revitalization. Malden, South Carolina is like the human equivalent of your reliable but unremarkable coworker. It's not the life of the party, but it's stable, affordable, and just interesting enough to keep you around. Here's the stats. Malden has a population of about 28,000 residents. Their livability score is 85. That is a really good number. Anything above 70, let's say 72, 73, those are decent places to live. Anything below 60, you want to avoid. So they're 85, that is solid. Their crime rate is also about 7% lower than the national average, which is solid, and the average home value here is about $284,000. Clemson, South Carolina, a small town with a big ego. Clemson is a charming little college town that somehow manages to think it's the center of the universe. Tucked away in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, it's the kind of place where the population triples on a football weekend, and you can't swing a foam finger without hitting a die-hard Clemson Tiger fan. A brief history. Clemson started as a sleepy little settlement back when South Carolina was still figuring out how to secede from the United States the first time. The land that would become Clemson was donated by none other than Thomas Green Clemson, a man who thought, you know what this state needs? a land-grant university. Apparently, he was right because today Clemson University is the pride and joy of this town. But back in 1889, when the university was founded, nobody could have predicted the empire of tailgates and tiger paws it would become. But here we are, over a century later, with Clemson football dominating the town's personality like a quarterback hugging the spotlight at prom. Life in Clemson. Let's be real, Clemson isn't just a town, it's a college campus with a few streets attached. The local economy revolves around the university. That means everything from restaurants to gas stations cater to students. Want a quiet meal without hearing someone debate the merits of the 3-4 defense? Good luck. But it's not all bad. I don't really think that part's bad. I mean, little school spirit. Clemson always seems to be a pretty good football team. But the town has some redeeming qualities, like Lake Hartwell. This is a massive reservoir where locals and students alike spend their weekends boating, fishing, and pretending they don't have work or homework to do. Then there's the South Carolina Botanical Gardens. Not a big thing for most college students, not like you could throw a big party there, but it is beautiful. If you want to go to a party, go to the Esso Club or just Esso Club. This is a local institution known for its beer and its nostalgia. Clemson's nightlife might not rival Vegas, but hey, if you're into dive bars and karaoke, you'll be just fine. One thing I can't stress enough, Clemson football is king in this city. Once you get past the college life and the college football, if that bothers you, everything else is pretty good. Clemson has a population of just under 18,000 and they have a livability score of 83. Not bad. Their crime rate is 6% below the national average, and their high school graduation rate is 14% above the national average. They got really good stats across the board. And if you want to move here, the average home value is about $386,000. Simpsonville, South Carolina, the unsung hero of South Carolina suburbia. Welcome to Simpsonville. Population? Just enough to make it cozy, but not so much that you can't escape your neighbors. If you've ever dreamed of living in a place where the HOA might write you up for not waving to your neighbors, or where chain restaurants are worshipped like ancient deities, Simpsonville is your personal slice of heaven. It's the kind of town where you'll hear "bless your heart" so often, you'll start questioning if it's genuine or a southern insult buffet. A brief history. Back in the day, cotton was king around Simpsonville, and then so was boredom. It was kind of the queen. Things have changed. But Simpsonville's history is rich, like an over-soaked banana pudding at a family reunion. This once sleepy cotton town hit its stride in the late 19th century, when the railroad came through. That's right, Simpsonville owes its existence to the magic of trains, because apparently people want to live near things that move really fast and whistle a lot. Really, there's so many towns in the United States, especially the Midwest, that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for trains. The town was named after Peter Simpson, a blacksmith who probably thought, you know what this place needs? My name slapped on it. So he made a metal sign, he was a blacksmith after all, and posted it at the edge of town. It must have been the summer because no one had the energy to argue with him. The city thrived as a textile hub, which might explain why so many locals have an unhealthy obsession with monogrammed towels. But when the textile mills declined, Simpsonville didn't panic. Instead, it doubled down on becoming the suburb people move to when they want to feel like they've escaped the hustle and bustle without giving up on target. Life in Simpsonville. Living in Simpsonville is like starting your own TV sitcom about suburban life. It's a place where everyone drives an SUV but still complains about gas prices. And the most exciting weekend plans involve deciding between Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's. You know, I've never eaten at Zaxby's. I did see a Mr. Beast commercial about it, I don't know, a couple months back. Next time I go to South Carolina, I'm going to find a Zaxby's. Now, I have been to downtown Simpsonville before, and it's charming in a way that your grandma's attic is charming, full of antiques, a little dusty, but oddly comforting. The city has done an impressive job maintaining its small-town charm while sprinkling in some modern touches. You'll find breweries, boutiques, and an old clock tower that the locals will point out like it's the Eiffel Tower. Spoiler alert, it's not. Simpsonville is part of the fabled Golden Strip, which is exactly as glamorous as it sounds, if your idea of glamour involves strip malls and an impressive selection of dentist's office. The Golden Strip is touted as an economic powerhouse, which is a polite way of saying, we have jobs, and they pay better than you'd expect in South Carolina. Simpsonville, though, loves its parks, and why wouldn't it? Heritage Park, the crown jewel, is home to everything from summer concerts to youth soccer games that somehow attract every mosquito within a 10-mile radius. There's also City Park, where locals gather for events like farmers markets, and the occasional "how did this town grow so fast" conversation. Let's take a look at Simpsonville's stats. The population is around 27,000 residents, and they have a livability score of 86. Their cost of living is 1% below the national average. That is not bad. Now, when it comes to their crime rate, that's their only knock. It's 61% above the national average, which isn't terrible when you consider there's cities in the United States that have crime rates that are 400% above the national average. One little side note to that, their violent crime rate is actually 15% below the national average. So it's just people stealing stuff, it seems like. If you want to move your kids here and get an education, it's not terrible. Their test scores are 32% above the national average, and their high school diploma rate is 8% higher than the national average. So if you're sold on Simpsonville and you want to move there and buy some real estate, the average home value is about $364,000. So would you move to one of these 3 South Carolina towns? All right, everyone, that's today's video. Be nice to each other.